Tonight, on the world's most amazing videos. From high seas terror to rivers of destruction, the carnage flows wild in Disasters of the Deep. First, a great white tears into a shark cage, trapping divers in a dungeon of doom. Then, immigrants packed like sardines are dumped into treacherous waters.
Get in there, get in there, get in there.
Plus, a surf junkie is crushed by a rip curl and knocked cold on the ocean floor. And later, a race between million-dollar speedboats becomes a high-stakes battle against death. These are the incredible true-life stories of people who faced their most desperate hour and lived to tell about it. Everything you are about to see is real. Real people, real danger, real excitement. Get ready to experience the thrill of a lifetime. You are about to witness the world's most amazing videos. Tonight, Disasters of the Deep.
The Swanee River, Florida. Amateur boater Hank Hogan and other hobbyists take over this scenic stretch of water for a high-speed shootout. Whichever boat hits the fastest speed wins.
We're going to find out where the rubber meets the road today, who's got the fastest boat and who got the biggest miles.
But as TV cameraman Lee DeShiel knows, this unsanctioned competition is high risk and low reward.
The only thing that you would walk away from this particular event was bragging rights, 100% bragging rights.
Lee films his buddy Hank reaching 130 miles an hour. But the racer decides he has to do better.
He came up to us and he said, I'm gonna turn this thing loose. He knew he had to turn a big number or he had to go home.
This time, the radar gun pegs at 138. But Hank's number is up. At this speed, it only takes a 4-inch swell to bounce the nose into the air. The boat launches skyward and flips. Hank is shot from the cockpit like a cannon.
He was skipping across the water like a rag doll. I'd come down there to shoot a television show, but I certainly didn't come down there to document somebody's death.
Friends pull the battered Hank from the river. His boat can be salvaged. But Hank is hanging by a thread. He has massive internal bleeding, as well as a broken collarbone, arm, and several ribs. Weeks later, Lee is shocked to find his friend not only better, but raring to go.
I'm going to get back in the saddle. You can bet on that. I'm coming back.
Hank may not win his next high-speed shootout, but he hopes he can at least beat the river. Oahu, Hawaii. The highest swells of the year descend on the world-famous Bonsai Pipeline. The water is teeming with surfers shooting colossal 15-foot faces. And shooting the surfers are sport photographers Ray Hollowell and Larry Haynes.
Oh, yeah!
These best friends take on the waves to get some killer footage. But they know that their jobs come with deadly risks.
Pipeline The wave is one of the most heaviest waves in the world, and it's, you know, I've come close to death there several times.
Despite the danger, the shots are too good to pass up. But after capturing dozens of wipeouts, Ray becomes the next victim of the ocean's wrath. He's swarmed under by a towering breaker and slammed into the sea floor.
My mind is like, whoa, that was a heavy wave. I'm thinking the guy that's just got wiped out in the death barrel.
With his camera still rolling, Larry tries to reach his friend. But Ray's being hammered against the razor-sharp coral. Unconscious from the initial impact, he's submerged for almost 2 minutes, filling his lungs with water.
Ray's state, when I got to him, he was bloated. He was face down in the water, just gone. He was...
Finally, Larry and some lifeguards pull Ray from the merciless undertow, hovering near death.
Blue right now. I'm terrified. I'm like, come on, buddy, you make it. Come on, let's...
The rescuers manage to get Ray breathing, but his prospects remain grim. He's rushed to the ICU. He has numerous broken bones and internal bruising. Worst of all is chemical pneumonia, a condition caused by all the seawater he ingested. It's almost always fatal. It takes a year of treatment, but Ray makes a full recovery.
And I'm out of here.
It was definitely the worst moment of my life, the worst time. I was in so much pain for months.
Ray knows that if not for his friend, the ocean would have made this coral reef his deathbed.
I owe a lot to Larry. He saved my life.
Coming up, a kayaker's death-defying plunge leaves her drowning in a whitewater tomb. And oversized speedboats clash on a lake and create a monsoon of destruction. Plus, an ocean race is thrown into chaos by a swarm of stinging jellyfish. Now back to the world's most amazing videos. Disasters of the Deep.
The Atlantic Ocean, 25 miles from Puerto Rico. The U.S. Coast Guard has spotted a boat of Dominican refugees attempting a perilous nighttime passage to Cabo Rojo. The waters beneath them cover a vast seismic area that creates treacherous surf and kills untold numbers of Dominicans each year. The captain keeps the boat moving. He isn't trying to escape. He's trying to survive.
Mike unit, he might not be stopping because of the swells. He's afraid to stop because he might capsize.
There are over 80 people packed into the tiny craft, and they've been taking on water for hours. One man desperately tries to bail out the hull with a bucket.
Watch the small boat. Watch the small boat!
The Coast Guard flies in a raft with life vests.
It looks like we're losing them quick. You need to get those things over. Get them over.
But as the refugees clamber for the flotation devices, their weight drives the boat to its tipping point.
Get in there, get in there, get in there! Get in there! We're in the water! Put the swivel nets over!
The water waterlogged vessel capsizes. Desperate passengers fight for a handhold. It's no use. They're tossed into the harsh, chilly Atlantic. The victims scramble to get on the American raft, but it can't hold them all. Officers call for backup. The choppy currents threaten to disperse the people into the blackness of the night.
Get ready to receive the small boat!
The Coast Guard responds swiftly, and 83 people are plucked safely from the ocean. They'll be given medical attention and a trip back home. They were willing to risk everything for a taste of the American ideals. Instead, they were nearly lost in the unforgiving sea. Banff National Park, Canada. Extreme kayakers Shannon Carroll and crew scope out the intimidating Johnston Canyon lower falls.
I'm scared!
No one's ever run this dangerous stretch of river. And Shannon's friend, Sam Drivo, knows that a 50-foot drop waits for any adrenaline junkie who tries.
I personally decided not to, just because I knew how tricky the entrance was, I knew how high the waterfall was, and then I knew what the consequences were at the bottom if you messed up.
One of their buddies decides the rush is worth the risk. He slams down head first. He manages to roll upright and escape the vicious back current. Finally, he's free. Shannon is the next to try. She cascades over the precipice. But the impact rips her out of the kayak. She flails at the boat, but it slips away as she's sucked upstream. She disappears in the undertow.
Come on, Shannon, hang in there.
Sam flings a rope as Shannon fights to find air.
I was just thinking, can't mess this one up. It was a life or death situation.
Suddenly, she grabs hold and emerges, gasping. But in her weakened state, the cord starts slipping through her hands.
I started pulling back on the rope, and I sort of heard a scream and realized that if I kept pulling, I'd pull the rope right out of her hands.
Sam ties off the line, and Shannon is able to drag herself onto a rock shelf. Sam lowers himself as far as he dares and pulls his friend to safety.
I was really frightened because you cannot fight the water. I mean, water is one of the most powerful forces of nature. I got kicked off the lip and I basically landed on my head upside down. I pushed my boat downstream and realized that I was getting sucked upstream. You can't hear anyone, you can't see anyone. And you realize that the river has the upper hand.
Sam's desperate toss of the rope proves to be a lifesaver.
It must have just grazed my face or my helmet, and like I just happened to feel it. That's my lifeline at that point. When I review the tape, it really brings to mind how close of an episode this was.
Shannon may not have conquered this uncharted territory, but she's grateful she didn't become the first kayaker to die at Johnston Canyon Falls. Lake Trounsey, Austria. Competitors approach the starting line in the super wealthy version of speedboat racing. The Class 1 Powerboat Grand Prix. Weighing 5 tons and reaching speeds over 160 miles an hour, these bad boys cost $3 million a piece. They also require 2 pilots, one controlling the throttle, the other steering. The lake's glassy surface creates a perfect course for these behemoths. But just like their smaller counterparts, take much of a ripple to launch them to oblivion. Coming into a straightaway, Australian boat magnate Bill Barry Cotter is overtaken by a challenger. He hits his opponent's wake going 140. And his mammoth rig is tossed like flotsam. Rescue crews converge and find Bill and his co-pilot surprisingly okay.
We were coming up on the marker side by side with the Norway boat. We were fighting for position. You only have to get tangled up in the rooster of a boat so close and it becomes an aeroplane.
Today, this high-risk water sport didn't take any lives. But it showed that even money doesn't impress Mother Nature.
Still to come. When a diver befriends a killer eel, the serpent gets a taste for human flesh. But first, a metal thrashing collision with a bridge crumples a barge into a floating fireball. And monster waves turn a jet ski into a surfer-seeking missile. Now back to the world's most amazing videos. Disasters of the Deep.
Sequoia National Park, California. This area's narrow crevices and plunging canyons make for some fantastically difficult kayaking. Jared Johnson knows these death-defying waterfalls are almost impossible to navigate. There's only one approach to this run. Take a deep breath. Take the plunge. And hope you can right yourself at the bottom before running out of air. Now it's Jared's turn. But suddenly, he's trapped under the thundering falls, smothered by 500 gallons of water per second. His friends toss a rope, fearing it's already too late. But then, Jared bursts from the drowning pool. He grabs hold of the lifeline. Choking, he's pulled from the watery grave. His kayak remains a victim of the river's fury. But in this high-stakes game of man versus nature, a good run means getting out alive. Off the coast of Russia, a naval chopper is in trouble. Its rotor was damaged during a rescue exercise and can't support its weight. The pilot cranks it harder, when suddenly, the lopsided blades tilt the helicopter forward. When the propeller hits water, the craft disintegrates. Rescue boats are quickly dispatched to the victims. All 13 people aboard are found. And amazingly, only 3 of them are injured. The ravaged hull is pulled from the drink. With this amount of damage, it's amazing that anyone survived. This day at sea was meant to be a practice run for disaster. It only took one wrong move to turn it into the real thing. San Diego, California. Flat-bottom speedboats are competing to qualify for the Nationals in drag boat racing. But there's an added danger in today's races. They're on salt water, which makes the boats more buoyant and more prone to wipeouts. Flatboat driver Dave Ferguson is about to find out just how quickly disaster can strike. A ripple lifts the boat up at 170 miles an hour. It crashes back down into an explosion of debris. From the shoreline, his family watches in horror.
The boat explodes right in front of us in a matter of seconds, and we're all scared to death.
Rescuers rush toward the wreckage. They haul the cockpit from the water, unsure what condition the pilot is in. Then, the capsule opens. Ferguson has survived the crash with only a mild concussion, which even he finds amazing.
I knew I was in trouble. Shut the motor down. I tried to get it back down in the water, but it just took off. And there was just nothing I could do.
Thankfully, Ferguson's safety capsule remained intact as the rest of the boat disintegrated around him. But having his wife and kids witness such a bone-chilling crash is a wake-up call.
I knew I just couldn't keep putting them through this.
Ferguson retires from racing, and today, the only time he spends on the water is in his yacht. It's a decision both he and his family can live with.
Up next, a surfer faces a double dose of danger when he's hit by 2 man-eating sharks. Plus, hard-charging rafters meet their match and are swallowed in the raging current.
Ellenburg, Ontario. Horror on a canal.
Oh my God.
There's people in that top part, eh? They could be killed.
Oh my God.
A cargo carrier smashes into a lift bridge that was lowered in its path. Hauling 57 million pounds, the massive vessel can't slow down in the water, even as its stack is ripped apart at the seams. When the craft emerges on the other side,
Time to get out of there.
the entire upper deck has been decapitated. But the nightmare is only beginning. The collision has destroyed the pilot house. There's no way to steer the monstrous ship as it churns uncontrollably through the canal.
Why are they stopping?
It's going to go right into the bank.
Then, things turn even deadlier.
Oh my God, look at that fire!
The boat erupts in flames. On board, the valiant crew refuses to abandon ship. They spring into action, searching the deck for fire extinguishers.
He must be hot. He's right below that fire.
But their efforts are in vain. When the sun rises the next morning, the once mighty vessel looks more like a trash barge. And the sturdy steel bridge is an impassable wreck with large chunks of the road missing. But there's a bright side. The entire crew made it out alive. It's later determined the bridge operator was under the influence at the time of the accident. He's lucky his foolish actions didn't turn this canal into a river of blood.
Oh my God, look at that fire!
Bondi Beach, Australia. 1,000 swimmers brave rough currents in the annual Cole Classic Ocean Race. But this year, the real danger is lurking in the water. 200 yards offshore is a swarm of jellyfish. Without warning,
Hey, on the back of the map, hurry!
competitors' arms and legs start brushing against thousands of stinging tentacles. Now it's a race to get out. Bondi rescuers rush to pull victims from the water. Terrified swimmers are repeatedly jabbed by spring-loaded venom glands as they flee to the tiny rafts. The poison creates immediate and severe skin lesions. For some, the pain is almost too much to bear. The beach becomes a makeshift hospital. Medical crews wash the wounds with alcohol and pull the barbs out with tweezers. Fortunately, all survived this horrifying day when the ocean came alive with a vengeance.
Just ahead, a high-speed drag boat tests out new waters and loses. Then, a kayaker's daring run pins him upside down in a swirling vortex. And a damaged marine chopper grinds itself into chum. That's now back to the world's most amazing videos. Disasters of the Deep.
East London, South Africa. The waves off Nahoon Reef aren't just known for great surfing. They're known for the sharks that troll underneath. But locals like Shannon Ainsley are willing to share these waters with the animals in exchange for some awesome runs. It's an uneasy alliance that's about to get severed. Shannon is kicking back when he's ambushed by teeth packing 130 pounds of force. Cries of shark drive everyone to shore. Shannon suddenly emerges, catching a wave in a desperate race to save his life. Fellow surfers help him out of the water. One ties off his arm to slow the bleeding from his mangled hand. They're shocked when he tells them this was no ordinary shark attack. He was hit by not one, but two great whites.
There was one shark on my left-hand side, one on my right-hand side. The one on the left knocked me into the air, flipped me around, bit my surfboard, bit my hand.
When the first shark briefly let go, Shannon scrambled for his surfboard, ignoring the pain as he paddled.
And I thought to myself, you know, if I lose my fingers, then I lose my fingers. Like every stroke I took, I just felt the water rush through my bones. My ring finger was hanging off. It actually put it right through the joint. And my pinky was also almost hanging off. And it was really disgusting.
Doctors save his hand, but Shannon believes the dual attack may have actually saved his life. Sharks don't hunt in packs. The first one's strike may have scared off a much worse fate.
If it never bumped me and bit me, the shark on the right would have bitten me and killed me.
His great white attacker gave Shannon a hand, even as it tried to take it away. Upstate New York. The bottom section of the Moose River is known for insane stretches of whitewater. But this season, insanity is reaching new levels. That's because the year's high water runoff has created brutal Class 5 rapids, the second toughest rating on the planet. Of course, the thrill of danger is why so many flock to these world-class rapids. One after another, hardened thrill seekers are dumped and churned. Some grab onto neighboring rafts to stay afloat, only to go on another terrifying ride. Others are thrown and then swept toward jagged rocks, just barely avoiding a battering. But one thing is certain. For the people that go into the drink, there's always plenty of company. Because this year, the bottom Moose River has turned into a raft-eating beast.
Coming up, a diver offering treats is attacked by a killer eel. That's next. Now back to the world's most amazing videos. Disasters of the Deep.
The Similan Islands, Thailand. Matt Butcher and his friends engage in a thrilling new hobby called interactive diving. They lure sea animals with food so they can get up close and personal with them. Matt's been coming to this spot for 18 months. He's made friends with a 7-foot-long moray eel by feeding her sausages. It's a risky relationship, but Matt has gotten comfortable around his slithery cohort. Maybe too comfortable. The voracious creature comes looking for more. Matt brushes her aside as he fumbles with his bag of meat. And then it happens. The fierce hunter snaps at a sausage, but ends up with some finger food instead. Matt tries to pry the hungry eel's mouth open with his free hand, but she's not letting go. 5 seconds later, she swims away with his severed thumb lodged in her teeth. Matt undergoes a radical surgery to replace the missing digit with one of his toes. The procedure is a remarkable success. But Matt's experience taught him a valuable lesson. If you let your guard down around carnivores of the deep, you might end up on the menu.
For some, it's a rush. For others, it's a job. But the call of the water has a price. Whether it's trouble on the surface or danger from within, there is no escaping disasters of the deep. Join us next time for more of the world's most amazing videos. Now back to the world's most amazing videos. Disasters of the Deep.
Tiahupu, Tahiti. This island hotspot is known for its mammoth swells. The conditions are so difficult, jet skiers have to tow surfers out to sea. But Raymana von Bolster doesn't want to wait for his driver. So he asks fellow surfer Reef McIntosh to take him out.
He's like, okay, let's go. I'm like, what do you mean? I don't know how to drive, Raymana.
Reef reluctantly drives the jet ski.
Go out, I get him like 5 or 6 waves towed him in. I'm like, wow, maybe I can do this.
The men go for another run, but fall victim to the surf's raw power. Reef is suddenly carried on top of the wave, with Raymana square in the jet ski's sights.
Like, okay, let me go, let me roll over the back, but I was like, it wasn't rolling over the back. And so I stayed on for like maybe half a second more, and I jumped off. And it was like, great, I'm just killed my good friend.
Incredibly, the 1,200-pound machine misses Raymana by mere inches.
If he didn't duck, he would have died. Probably broke a neck. Because that thing was just like a missile aiming straight for his head.
But now, Reef's the one in trouble. He's stranded in the water, trapped in the path of another surfer.
I just, crossed my fingers and swam as deep as I could.
Fortunately, both Reef and Raymana come through the incident unharmed and a lot wiser about the perils of the sea.
Oh, I knew I shouldn't have been driving that jet ski because I had just zero experience out there. We were both extremely lucky.